Hey, and welcome to yet another Minute Microscopy. I am Erik Rosenblatt, and today I would like to share a little bit of my love for notebooks and pens and pencils. So, in this light speed modern era where we often experience information and sensory overload on a regular basis, it's important to slow down, unplug, and go offline from time to time. For some, that might mean getting out into nature. For others, reading a paper book. I definitely have quite a library myself, but something for me that really takes me into myself in a tangible way is writing, like on paper. I love notebooks of all types and sizes. When I was younger, I got into using graph paper notebooks. It's kind of hard to see here, but that's a graph notebook composition. Um, then I got into steno notebooks, and these are things that have really never left me. But I will say I very much love pocket notebooks. The Piccadilly or Moleskine ones, however you want to pronounce it. I have one such notebook here that I've added a pen holder to, and it's bloody awesome. I also have a Big Brother graph version too. There's so many options out there, and they're all freaking sweet. Uh, and I guess that brings me to pens. Yeah, there are a lot of cheap and nicely functional pens out there. Bic being one of the best, but it's boring and disposable. There's the Write in the Rain and Space Pens, which are both really great pressurized field writing implements. Though I really enjoy collecting and using older style pens, stuff like, oh, fountain pens, um, and dip pens, but they can be cumbersome, even if they're really fun to use. So I still love them though. When I was young, my dad used to always use a Papermate Flare pen, one of these little guys. Um, you know, and I didn't understand why until I borrowed one of his and quickly made it my EDC pen. Uh, I still use them to this day, actually. Um, so, and round about high school, I came across the Parker Vector pens, and I fell in love. I have bought many of those in every option I could get my hands on. It's honestly one of the best pens ever made for the money, at least. Around the same time, I came across the Pigma Micron pens. I'm sure you've probably seen these beige pens that come in a multitude of different sizes and colors. Sorry if it's not really in focus, but um, they're similar to the flare pen, but with much smaller tips. Precision pens, great for drawing and design. I probably burned through hundreds of them just while I was in high school. Oh, yeah. Anyone remember that other popular product made by Sakura? The outliner. Yeah, these were super fun. Um, I guess that leads me a little bit into another fun pen, the Jelly Roll. Here's my collection and my custom 3D printed holder for them. I might have just a few of them. These pens are opaque and designed to be used on darker surfaces and come in a bazillion colors and variations. There's actually even a black notebook, which I haven't actually used yet, just for this type of pen. Really cool. I've made so many drawings with the jelly rolls, and it's definitely a different experience drawing with light rather than dark. Um, Lots of fun. And at one point, I inherited my grandfather's collection of pens and had my first experience with Parker Jotter, which would be the one that I have here, and cross pens. Pretty elegant and refined writing experience. I mean, that's why I have a jotter on my EDC notebook. It's fast to use and it writes really well. Now, I'd be remiss talking about notebooks and pens if I didn't at least cover pencils. Growing up, of course, we all had those standard issue yellow number 2 pencils. They worked. At some point, mechanical pencils started entering the market, but most left a lot to be desired. Those leads always snapping at the wrong moment. I mean, I still picked up a few zebras though, and they're pretty nice. But at some point, I bought my first big boy mechanical pencil at a drafting shop. I used it for a couple decades, actually. Well, I still use it until I found the perfect pencil, the Black Wing. Probably the best. The ones I have now are, well, I have a whole box of them too. They're modern versions, as the originals are pricey. They're damned good though. Get some, you won't regret it. But this is supposed to be about notebooks. Um, Although I kind of feel like notebooks, pens, and pencils are closely connected. So in my mind, they go hand in hand. Some might say the era of paper is behind us. After all, most people use phones and digital assistants and computers to take notes and create sketches. But I think we lose something when we do that. Having an offline, unplugged, analog method of, well, putting pen to parchment is much more physical and tangible. Our brains tend to remember things we write better than things we type and say. And the end result produces a much more permanent record. Plus, it's just a hell of a lot of fun. You don't need signal, charge cords, or batteries. You're not beholden to the UI or the limitations of the software. You can just write or draw, big or small, slow or fast as you like. You can use mixed media. You can stick extra pieces of paper or photographs between the pages of a notebook. You could tear out a page or a part of a page. The notebook won't give you any grief. You can start at the front or the back. You can write upside down or in different languages. And above all, there's no distractions. It's just you, the notebook, and the writing tool. And I think that's a form of simplicity we should re embrace.